Hey folks, welcome to Bouncing Brains. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G.
Today on the podcast, we are happy to have in Jon Gonzalez.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Good.
So, how's Valentine's treating you, man?
It's treating me good, man. Went to go see my tia, which means aunt for the people who don't know. You know, white as fuck, but I went to go see her, surprised her with some roses and a balloon and a bear like a true virgin should.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is a sweet and heartfelt sentiment.
Yeah. People listening are like, what a fucking nerd.
Hey, man, in this economy, it's almost safer.
Yeah, true that. Get more loving from her than... Well, actually, that sounds weird as fuck. Let's just move on.
Yeah, we can...
Oh, this can go far off into the weeds, man. Did we give the whole spiel, blah, 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 or buyer's remorse if you need to cut anything out?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, cool. We start getting towards a hot button subject. The safe word is blue waffle.
Blue waffle.
Yeah,
All right.
blue waffle.
Google search that if you don't know what that is, listeners. Look at the images.
Yeah, for real.
I want to say it has been referenced on at least a cable television TV show at this point. So,
Fucking awesome.
yeah, that's how a meme hits, mainstream, man.
Yeah. Urban Dictionary making it on mainstream television.
Yep, sure is.
It's like when a comic gets a sitcom.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah, man. Speaking of comedy, man, like, how is it treating you?
Man, it's been fucking great, dude. Been on the road a lot. Did my first headlining gig last night at Cine Ray.
Oh, that was your first headline?
Yeah, I'd done some co-headlining gigs where I did like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But last night I did 45. And it's crazy. Like, I was like, you kind of nerve-wracking, you know? I was like nervous because I was like, man, I've never like carried an audience for that long.
Yeah.
So it was nice though, man. Tried out some new material. Fucking everything went great. Held them the whole time, and new material hit. Everything was good, dude.
So, like, when you actually, it's good to know that you just said it was your first headline and you did 45 minutes. Did you at any point in time feel, I don't want to say that you hit a wall, but more or less, did you ever for a split second find yourself like, okay, what direction do I go here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I started, I noticed that I was going through my content fast. And that's like something that I've carried on like from when I first started, like the beginning stages of comedy. I'll rush through stuff if it's not hitting to try and get to the other joke. And I just felt myself doing that. And it was like probably like the third or fourth minute. And I was getting laughs and I was doing really well. But like I heard myself and I was like, all right, you're rushing. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
And so like I zeroed myself out. And like from there on, I was good. Because I was talking to Mario about it, Mario Salazar. And I was telling him I'm a little nervous. And he was like, bro, just take your time. Like, you don't have to rush through your stuff. You're not on a time limit. You're not going to get a light. Just go up there and just deliver it. But take your time. That's exactly what I did. I would deliver it. And when they would laugh, I would let them laugh. And I just sit there and just sulk in it. You know?
Yeah, you ride that wave of that laughter.
Exactly.
Beautiful way to put it.
It's funny that you said like you rode that wave because there's a lot of comics, myself included, when I first started, where one of the biggest mistakes that I made was I would do a joke and it would land, but you get that hard laugh and then you hear the laugh go through the audience.
Yeah.
And then I would rush through it.
Yeah.
So Larry Garza,
Yeah.
he was the first one ever to actually shout out to Larry. He was the first one ever to tell me, he was like, hey man, like you got a lot of good jokes where you got a lot of good laughs, but what I saw that you weren't doing was that you weren't letting them breathe.
Yeah.
Like they were still laughing at the previous joke and you jumped into your next premise.
Yeah.
When you get a good laugh, like let it breathe, there's nothing wrong with standing there and watching while they're laughing. Now, don't stand there and they're quiet and you're quiet. That's completely different.
Right.
But if they're laughing, just ride that wave. And I learned that when I performed at my first official sold out show. Mm-hmm. Like when you just hear that wave travel throughout the whole room and laugh, it's like it's a different experience. The only thing that kills me is that up until this point in my career, in my comedy career, I've always been on a time limit. So then on the other side of it, I also do feel like I have to push it along and move it along.
On to the next one.
But onto what you were saying, like when you don't have a time limit, like I feel or I think it's a lot better because you don't have to worry about like I got to get off stage soon. So,
right.
So the other thing I was going to ask you that I ask a lot of seasoned comics is last night was your first headlining gig. So how did you end up closing it?
I mean, I still did the closer that I always do.
Okay, so you have like a designated closer.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like when you did your designated closer, are you the type that you do the closer, drop the punchline, they laugh, and then you're like, good night? Or do you kind of maybe bounce off the crowd a little bit and then like roll it through?
I'll do the closer punchline. I'll be like, hey, my name's Jon Gonzalez. Thank y'all for coming out. And then I go into my merch. Like I got merch back here if you want to, get some of my calendars, hats, koozies, shirts, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
And then push that. I wish, and what I want to work on is John Stringer has, shout out to John Stringer, one of my mentors, fucking awesome dude. He has a really good punchline at the end to sell his merch.
Yeah.
Like he holds up a shirt and he's like, all right, who wants a shirt? Who wants a shirt? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'll be selling them in the back. And if you want to buy one, you can come get one. And since I heard 83 motherfuckers in here say that they want a shirt, I better see you. Or McAllen, Texas is a bunch of fucking liars. I'm like, that's fucking perfect. Because people were like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Like, they laugh about it, so now they want to purchase it.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. So I can have a joke when I'm pitching my merch.
Yeah. Cool. That's a very good way to market it. Raymond has a very similar closer as well.
Yeah.
When he writes through his candles.
Uh-huh.
So and what I love about Raymond, the two times that I've heard him do it is he actually says it. He actually says, and that is a very good marketing tip. So with that being said, and then he goes into the whole merch thing.
Nice.
So I don't have any merch yet, so I don't have to worry about that part yet.
Yeah.
I'm happy to close them out with a laugh. That's
right. Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
And once you get that merch idea, like you get the merch brain going, dude, it's crazy. Because like with me, it took me, I want to say 5 or 6 years to actually like get my first shirt made. Because I was just overthinking it like a son of a bitch,
Yeah.
I just, oh man, I want something good. And even my first shirt was like whack. It was something that I came up with when I was like drunk. And it was like too long of a saying, so it wasn't good. But I went out with this girl and I was like telling her the whole night, I was like, I don't have any money, I don't have any money. So she was buying me drinks like I'm a fucking loser. And towards the end, we're leaving and like we're talking about like, fucking hooking up or whatever. And I was like, oh, I can stop at the store and buy some condoms. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, and I like kept saying it through the whole night. I was like, condoms I'll buy, drinks you're on your own. And I kept saying it the whole night. And I made a T-shirt, and it was said, I buy condoms, not drinks. But it was just like the design was kind of whack. It was kind of fucked up, and it never sold, and I just kind of abandoned it. But then like 3 months later, I came with my first shirt, which is Michelada con Michiflada. Yeah. And it has like a Michelada on it. Yeah. And then my next one was Besitos over Stresitos. And I made it as a girl shirt, and I got with a friend of mine who's a clothes designer, like design clothes and stuff. And I had her hook it up, and she came up with an amazing outline, amazing design. So those sell good. And then my last shirt that I just did was Polar Bear Comedy. And it's a logo that I got off of Fiverr. I spent like $10 for somebody to come up with it.
Yeah.
And I just put it on a shirt. I put it on my koozies. And they've been selling like crazy.
Yeah, man.
That and the calendars.
Yeah.
I got my own like 12-month calendar. It's like a dude war calendar. And it's like me posed in like sexy positions and shit. And people always flip out because they're not used to seeing a fucking man who's a comedian have his own calendar at a merch table. Yeah. So it's a great
I'm not gonna lie, man. When I saw your calendar, I looked at it twice, dude, and it made me feel weird looking at it twice. I was like, did I just do that? I was like, wait a minute.
Pants tightened up a little bit. Got a little stiff. I know.
Yeah.
I understand. Can't blame you.
I imagine it's got to be great for the Facebook marketing because somebody's just scrolling through the feed like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Dude, I've sold 50 calendars.
Nice.
Fucking insane.
Nice.
Never, like, I feel like a Snapchat premium model. Like, fucking getting paid to show my man tits.
Nice.
Awesome.
Does it do less for the ego if it's ironic?
It's about the same.
Right on.
When you you said that last night you tried some new material.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna from the conversation we were holding off earlier off camera. Do you time yourself?
Yeah.
Like not on stage. I mean, when you're going through your
yeah.
Okay. So from your new material that you said you tried, how much time of new material do you have? 3 minutes? 4 minutes?
I think it was, let's see, probably about 8 minutes, maybe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, is it an 8 minute long bit or is
no? It's like it's scrapped up.
Scrapped up.
Yeah. And they just I don't even do them all together. I put like one here, one here, and one there, so it would like kind of segue all together.
Yeah,
it'd be good.
I got that from Sean because I came to him and I was like, hey man, him and a couple of other different comics that I trust on the critique and whatnot. And he told me, man, because the first time that I was trying out new material, I would, whether it was the first time or the second time, I would run it straight through.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't working, like it would not work as a whole, and that's worse. So Sean said, try the sandwich effect. So basically, spread them out with old material, put them in between, and I noticed that it wasn't that the whole new material wasn't working. It just was that some of the bits would work in between other ones. So it kind of like helped me filter out some of the material. And like you were saying earlier, some just didn't work at all. And it sucks, dude. It sucks when like you spend so much time on a bit and you repeat it in your head, and it's sad when it cracks you up and you're laughing, and then you go and try it out and it's like, fuck, dude, really?
Yeah.
Like I spent 2 hours to write those 2 minutes and I ain't got shit.
Yeah, those are the breaks, man.
I was telling him and he laughed, but because he's sadistic and shit. I used to run a rape joke, and it was hilarious, man. But I tried it, and some white lady was just not having it.
Yeah,
that is not a laughable matter. So,
2019, bro. You can't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, man.
Fuck that.
So what I was saying with that was that I mean I still have it. It's not like I threw it. It's there,
right?
You know? But I just don't use it anymore. I tried it in different. I first tried it when I was living in LA, so it's a pretty old joke, but it was like new down here.
Yeah. And
I noticed that in LA, man, it would work. It would work, but I came down here and they just weren't having it. So it's there. I don't know if I'll ever like maybe use it again, but because I'm not that type of comic. I feel that everything can be funny in the right light.
Yeah.
So.
No, I can. And I know when I started, I had a joke, and I spent so much time on it, and it never really hit. I think it hit like maybe twice. But I kept running through it because I was like, man, I spent so much fucking time on this. I don't want to kill it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to build on it. I want to build on it.
Yeah.
And in the long run, I was like, this is making me struggle.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I'd have them fired up. And then when I tell that joke, it was like a good minute and a half joke. I would lose them.
Yeah.
And then the rest of my material is fucking suffering because of this asshole.
This one joke.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, let's pull this motherfucker out. Get it out of there. And it just runs through, man. That's why the sandwich effect is really fucking good. Because you can segue. And you have to look at it like a rap song or a movie.
Yeah.
If the story is grabbing you, you're going to stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? To where if you're like, okay, old jokes, then you go into your new jokes and they're not segueing, people are like, all right, you know, they'll laugh. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people...
It's like a ha-ha laugh. And
right.
It's not, you know, yeah,
and a lot of people have short attention spans and they need that fucking grasping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like when you're watching The Walking Dead and something happens and like somebody walks in and like Rick looks and he's like, oh shit, and they go to commercial break. Well, they're going to sit through those fucking commercials because they want to see what happens to Rick.
Exactly.
It's the same with the joke. Like, if you're segueing it like boom, 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 you're keeping them entertained the whole fucking time. And you're telling a story, but with jokes.
Yeah.
That's how my shit's delivered, at least. Like, I do all, like, life shit. Like, I think God dealt me, like, a messed up hand of cards.
Yeah.
Like, for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Because I'll take it and I'll make fun of myself. And you know,
ammunition.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there has to be a reason I masturbated wrong for the first year, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's I used to run this joke, and again, I still have it, and every now and then I use it like kind of as a segue and stuff. I used to run this joke about Chuck E. Cheese. Me fighting the kid at Chuck E. Cheese, right? and it got a laugh, you know. But Rudy was the first one to tell me. He was like, and this is exactly what he said. He was like, "Hey, bro, that joke is funny, but I don't know if it's funny because I'm like really high right now, or and I don't know. Like, I started thinking, I was like, I don't know, is he advocating child abuse? And I was like, oh shit, that's not what I'm going for. But it got laughs. But then again, it's where I learned to kind of like read the crowd per se.
Definitely.
So like when like and I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten from where I started, I gotten pretty good at reading the crowd. Yeah. So that's why sometimes when I start, I'll start with a really edgy kind of fucked up joke. Mm-hmm. And if they laugh at that first joke, then it clicks in my head and I'm like, okay, I can throw this one in here. If they don't, then I know not to use.
Let me throw a scenario at you guys. You ever like tried to pull an old joke that you haven't done in a while, and like halfway through the setup, you remember why it was you stopped doing it?
Yeah.
I have when I like had to kill extra time. This was probably like, I think my 4th year in it, maybe. And I was up there and I was like, fuck, man, I've only done 10 minutes. Son of a bitch. What joke? And I panicked. And the first one that came to mind, I just fucking grabbed it and ran with it. And it was like, oh.
You still do it?
Fuck. Fuck. I retired that motherfucker. That shit's done. I ate way too many dicks because of it. So I was like, nah. I don't even want to like say what it was or talk about it because it's fucking it was bad, dude.
I got to assume most people got those, man.
Yeah.
Just like a nice little folder of don't touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like not just weak, but toxic.
Yeah. Fuck up your mood type shit.
But do you still have them? Like, do you still keep them? Like those jokes that you know and that you found out that you tried and maybe they didn't work because they were edgy. Like, do you still have them?
I mean, they're still there, but I don't think I'll ever go back to them.
Okay, see, and that's the reason that I asked. The reason that I ask is because I've gone through the same thing, and I've used real edgy jokes and like they're not there. The laugh is not there because I feel that they're too edgy. Mm-hmm. But then I watched a lot of Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And well, we all know Louis, man. So it gave me the thought and the feeling of like, okay, I'll put him away, and maybe when I get to a point where my audience is as comfortable as Louis' audience is with him, maybe they'll work.
Right.
Cause I feel that when it's a big difference to when you're performing to an audience that doesn't even know that you're gonna be there, like you're just some random comic that's gonna tell a joke. So where you go and you sell out a show and you're the headliner, and people are coming to watch you and paying money because they're gonna watch you. So that's more of like it's actually your personal audience.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. But
yeah, I think it does too, man. And last night it was crazy. I'd never had that many people come up to me and tell me that was their first comedy show. I had I think 4 or 5 different people. I was like, man, this is my first comedy show. First time I came out. Just wanted to check it out. One girl was from the mall. I went to the Plaza Mall yesterday during the day, and I just walked into every store and I was handing out flyers and making jokes. No.
I got kicked out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nah. Just walked in there, gave him a flyer.
At the Plaza Mall. He took I had made and it wasn't even a fucking flyer, bro. It looked like a sorry ass low budget ticket with a print on it. And I spent like $15, and I only had like 50 of them. So I was like handing them out, and this dude in a suit just came up. He's like, hey man, you can't solicit here. And I was like, dude, I'm not selling anything. Well, you can't and he told me, he was like, you can't hand anything out. And then I was like, all right, man, cool, whatever. And he left, and I kept handing them out. He caught up to me a second time on the other side of the food court, and he was like, he didn't say son, he said bro. He was like, bro, follow me. And I thought he was going to take me to some office and shit. And no, he walked me straight through the door, and he's like, you can't come back in.
He Uncle Phil'd your ass?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That's fucking awesome.
Pretty much.
He probably thought you were like one of those like deaf people who like fucking try to sell those arts they made for $3 when you're sitting down eating Mexican food.
Yeah, man. It was at this mall.
The Plaza?
The Plaza Mall, man.
Nah, man. This you saw the flyer?
Yeah.
It was tastefully done.
Yeah. I don't know if they can see that or not.
Probably not.
I was sitting there at the open mic on Tuesday and heard at least 2 people go, who is that chick?
No.
That's fucking awesome.
And then since Sonia was on the flyer, and they said, it was like, who's that chick? And Sonia was like, and I pointed at Sonia, and I was like, oh, it's her. And then Sonia looked at me and was like, they're probably not even talking about me. They're talking about polar bears. He's like, people don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah, dude. So what I did is like, I had like flyers like made before I left like Austin, and I grabbed them and went over there. When I was walking in, I'd be like, hey, how you doing? I'm John. I'm Polar Bear from Austin, Texas. I'm a comedian. I'm doing a show over here at Cine Rey in McAllen. And I give them a flyer, and I was like, you should come out, whatever. And then I would cover up the flyer once they looked at it, and I would say, don't look at my titties until I leave. And they'd always fucking laugh. 90% of them would laugh because they're not used to a guy talking about his titties to a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
I would give it to them. They look at it, and I cover it like, don't look at my titties until I leave. It's going to be weird for everybody. And I walk out, and they'd always fucking laugh. And so I don't know how many people were there from the mall last night, but I do know for sure that one came from Hot Topic. I went to Hot Topic.
Yeah.
And I saw her, and she's like, oh, hey. She's like, you remember me? She's like, I was from Hot Topic. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I was, wondering if it actually worked. And she brought like her and like 3 of her friends. And they came out. She's like, I've never been to a comedy show. I've watched it, but I've never been to a live one. So hope you're funny. So I was like, oh shit.
I don't like that pressure, man. One of the recurring people that actually I met at Cine Rey, they saw me well, they said that they saw me win the competition last year. He was like, dude, you're funny as hell. Like, I'm a fan, so on and so forth. But I mean, some people just say that, right?
Yeah.
Well, this couple kept coming every Wednesday, every time that I was on the flyer or whatever. And what I was saying was, like, the pressure, bro, is like, his wife came up to me, like, oh, we came because, like, you're really funny. I hope you make us laugh again. And I was like, no pressure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the pressure. It's the fact that a lot of people think that they're going to get new material.
Yes.
You know?
Dude, I was going to ask you, do you get that a lot?
Oh, yeah. I have people saying, go live and Facebook stream. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking Facebook stream my set. Yeah. Because a lot of people, what they don't understand is that the sets that comics do take years and years and years of crafting.
Yes.
You have to craft it, and it's your fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
That's why you see a bunch of fucking comedians come out, and their first comedy special, they fucking kill it and destroy it. And then after that, they struggle because they spent years to do it. Look at Cat Williams. Cat Williams is hilarious, but he used so many jokes that he did from the first comedy special into the second comedy special.
Yeah.
You know? And I get it. It's fucking hard. But to me, if you're gonna sell a new comedy special, write new jokes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a lot harder than just saying that, because I couldn't imagine coming up with a new 45 minutes, especially within a year or two when they're required to do it. That's just ridiculous.
I feel you on that, and I believe it too, and I say the same thing, man. But then I remember that Carlin had 14 specials, and it's like, and no fucking repeated premises or joke, and it's like, fuck,
yeah,
how do you do that, And so, which leads me to that point, a lot of people. I just had somebody yesterday. Somebody hit me up on social media from Michigan, and I was like, hey, I'm from Michigan. I saw you in LA. It was my first time watching a comedy show in town. You were hilarious. And she contacted me again through a clip that somebody posted online, and she told me, she was like, "You're funny, but why did you do the same jokes over?" I was like, "Fuck." So what I did was I went. I think I told you I went like scrambling to look for the fucking video. I was like able to get a hold of it, whatever. And like I took it down, and that's why now I tell people, I was like, like, please, like enjoy the show or whatever, but like don't record me, like don't record me, because the way I explain it, I always explain it like this: like when you're a musician, when you're a band, when you go to a concert, you want people to listen to your music, you want them to play it back. You want them to jam to it and vibe to it. All that shit is great. You want them to share it. But for a comic, it's different, because the biggest thing that we have to our advantage is the element of surprise.
Yep.
So if I tell this joke here and you heard it and you recorded me, you put it online. If I go to not even another city, if I go to a different club in the same city, and somebody else already saw that joke online, they might give you the ha-ha laugh, but it's not going to have the same impact. And a lot of people don't grasp, the people at work that have gone to go watch me. 2 weeks ago, somebody told me, he was like, hey, man, you've been running the same 15 minutes for 8 months now. And I was like, well... God damn, I was like, I wasn't even timing myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Keep tabs.
Yeah. So, and he told me, he was like, when's the next material coming up? Like pushing on me, right? He was like, when's the next set coming out? And I was like, motherfucker, whenever you come up with 5 minutes, I'll come up with 15 more.
Right, yeah. Yeah, dude.
So,
well, okay, just to kind of loop this conversation back around, that's another strength of using that whole sandwich method when you're running new material into your sets, is that like it seemed like if you just, all right, you brought up Cat Williams doing it.
Right.
I'm thinking George Lopez, fucking Bill Engvall, like people just like, they just kind of fold some of the new material in.
Yeah.
There's that quote from Louis C.K. where he talks about taking his strongest material, like his closer from the last set, and like using that as his opener for the new set to kind of like go like, well, I can't, I can only go up from here type of shit.
Right.
Which, by the way, Louis is a great example of that. He was running that whole set about like, fucking dudes getting run over by cars and,
right.
Isn't marriage fucking goofy type of bullshit for years.
Yeah.
And then at one, probably the whole, on-setting divorce and all that shit, life upheaval, mind changes. But yeah, like, we're young men, lads. Like, we're not quite at the life devastation stage. Keep your fingers crossed, Freddy. It gets worse from here, brother.
Well, pretty much, man. I'm seeing it. It really does, and it's like I feel like I even hammer myself as well too, and he made me think. But it's not the first time I think about it. It's like I just feel like it's like the same 15 minutes. But I try, and I write every day, man. Like I like kind of like jerking off. I think I write more than I jerk off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
healthy habit.
Exactly, because I feel that it keeps me sharp.
Right.
But on the same token, like I told that person, I was like, dude, just because I write every day, it doesn't mean that a joke comes out every day or even like every week.
Right.
And I always told them like. It's different when you see it on the other side of the spectrum. When you actually gotta write this shit and like actually like think about it, test it, find out if it works.
Yeah.
Like it's like you said, it's a long process. The other thing is that a lot of people don't understand with comedy is there's no shortcut.
Right.
It's not like, oh, okay, I did this way. I'm going to apply this same exact formula to this new shit and it's going to work. It doesn't work that way. Like,
well, we've talked about the whole idea of having a toolkit, man. Like you run through those, like, does it fit this pattern, this pattern, this pattern? Okay, that's funny.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. No, definitely, man.
How long you been doing it, man? What do you remember the very, very, very first time you stepped on a stage? Yeah. I don't care if it was a show or an open mic. Just first time you told a joke.
The very first time that I did was October of 2010.
Oh, shit, you got it down to the...
Yeah, because it was a Halloween show.
Okay.
Nice.
And I was doing... I did hip-hop for like 10 or 15 years. And it was this girl who would like put me on shows like were like hip-hop shows. And I was doing them with her, whatever. And then like she branched out into like doing a comedy show. And my brother, my whole life, always told me I should do stand-up comedy. I should be a comedian. I should be an actor, whatever, because I always had everybody laughing in the car. And I was like, you know what? Okay, maybe I'll just try it, you know? And so I told her, I was like, hey, can you put me on? And she was like, yeah. She's like, fuck yeah, I think that's fucking awesome. Let's do it. And so I did, I think it was 6 minutes. And when I showed up, it was at a bar. And
the worst fucking place.
Yeah. But this one wasn't that bad because it was set up for a comedy show. So they had like chairs and shit set up for people to sit down and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad. But the thing is when I got there, they only served beer. And I don't like fucking drinking beer. Like I'm like a whiskey man, you know? Like I'm a Crown and Coke, you know?
Fair enough.
And so my nerves are like running rapid, dude. Like they're just like, oh shit, you know? And all they had was a fucking Four Loko. And I'm like, oh man, this is fucking horrible, you know? Like this is the ratchet shit, you know?
Would you rather have MD?
Okay, so look.
You paused there.
Yeah. No, I've had MD before, but the thing that was wrong with the Four Loko is they had to put it in like an hour before I got it. So I got it and it felt cold, but when I drank it, it was fucking warm.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. So I had like 2 or 3 sips and I couldn't do it, you know, because that sweetness and it would get like sick to my stomach. I was like, all right, I'm not going to fucking do it. So I went on stage sober as fuck. And I didn't fucking bomb. I had laughs here and there, but they felt like pity laughs.
Yeah.
Because when she brought me up, she's like, this is his first time doing comedy, whatever. And my nerves were shot. I could just feel myself like tugging at my shirt while I'm up there, you know, just like pulling it down. And because I was like so nervous. And so after that, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do it. Like, fuck it. And I waited till July of the next year. So 9 months before I did it again. And this time when I did it at a comedy club. It was an open mic night. It was a thing where you had to sign up and get on. And when I got there, I told my brother, I told my brother before, I was like, hey, you're going to drive because I'm going to fucking drink, you know? So I got there and I had a few Crown and Cokes, like maybe like 3 before I got on stage. And I was loose. I was good. The nerves were fucking gone. And I just went up there and fucking destroyed, dude. It was like totally fucking different. It was a complete 180.
Did you write any of it down? Or
Yeah. It was all written down. I had gone over it in my head, but it was a complete 180, dude.
Yeah.
And that is when I actually like fell in love with it. You know, like I didn't know that I was so passionate about it until I went up and had that laugh.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I know like the first time I don't remember it like precisely because I was probably trying to forget it because it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But that second time when I did it again, I remember like, you know, like when you're on stage and you hit this fucking joke and you hear that roar of laughter just come over you. It's like a fucking energy. It's like a wave of energy. And I felt that. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is it. I fucking love this. That's a drug. And after that, I had shows that I was doing good, and I don't think I really bombed until I think it was like my 7th show. So wasn't that bad. The numbers weren't bad. But the thing is, I learned a very valuable lesson when I bombed. And that is to know your crowd. Because before I went on stage, I had a set that was all about like Latinas and like a Mexican delivered set. Well, I look into the crowd and I see nothing but white people. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I was like, should I change this? Should I abandon it? What should I do? And then right when I was thinking about it, they just called me up on stage. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I went up there and I did it. And I did jokes about Aquanet and all this bullshit. And nobody understood shit. I did like 3 minutes and you got like the worst. The thing that's the worst to me when I'm on stage, and I think it's every comic, is the coffin sniff. When you get that, it's not a laugh. You heard something. You're like, oh, but it's just.
It was nothing. It was a little tease.
Yeah, like I'm coughing and I'm sniffing because you eat a bag of dicks right now.
Exactly.
And I was supposed to do 5. I did 3 minutes, and I was like, all right, guys, thanks so much. My name's John Polar Bear. I was like, fucking, I just got off stage.
Yeah. No, and
fucking sucks.
And
see, he knows what I'm talking about. The coffin sniff. It fucking sucks.
The best one is when, like, people know that, like, that you're just starting, that it's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's even an open fucking mic. But the worst one, man, is when you hear somebody yell out from the back, half drunk and shit, and they're like, so when does a funny start?
Oh, damn. Yeah, that fucking hurts.
That happened about, what, a month ago?
Burn.
Well, what I was gonna say was, that happened when I had first started, and then and it sucked because when that person said it, they were like, "When does the funny start?" or some shit like that. And I had the worst thing is I had nothing to say. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, you know, also, you know, handed the mic. Then same scenario or very similar scenario happened again with a heckler that me and Sean both had to handle on 2 separate occasions, 2 different shows. Same fucking heckler. She told me the same thing. She was like, she said she and she was in the front row. But Mario was there too. Oh, well, when I was there,
this is almost the exact opposite of the person walking up and going, "We come every time." It's like she comes every time, but she's not a fan.
Yeah,
yeah.
She was like, when does the funny start? And I was hosting. I was hosting the show, and I was like, "Sweetie, it starts when you shut the fuck up." Like, and she was sitting next to her husband, and I was like, "Dude, this you go, bro. Can you at least something just to help us out?" And he just looked at me. Oh, he kind of looked at me like, "Dude, I gotta go home with her."
Poor bastard.
So. And then I didn't know that Sean had to deal with the same fucking person. And then before, I don't know if she did this.
She didn't say anything during my set.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I don't know if she did this to you as well, but before the show, she was like, "Oh, are you a comic?" So I was cool. Like, I thought she was a fan. Again, she was like, "You're a comic." And then I heard the famous fucking phrase, "Well, I'm a comic too." With this shit.
Oh, you didn't share that little detail.
Oh, yeah. We were in the lobby with Shooter, and she was like, "Well, I'm a comic too, and I'm funny. Like, my friends think this is exactly what she said. She was like, I'm funny. My friend thinks I'm funny and everything. So I'm thinking of getting on stage." And I looked at her and I was like, "Well, you're not getting on tonight, are you?" And she was like, "Oh, no, not tonight. I'm gonna watch tonight." And I was like, "Okay, good." And I was like, "Well, I'll see you inside or whatever." And she was
so that was before she heckled you?
Yes.
Did you bring that shit up?
Huh?
Did you bring that up?
What do you mean?
The fact that she told you that when she heckled you.
No,
shut the fuck up.
I didn't, because of the fact that she wasn't she was interrupting everybody. And I kept telling her, I was like, "You're here to watch." Dude. So it was when I told you, it was during the Larry show. Right. And that was when I told you, dude, Larry fucking handled that bitch like it was no.
Fuck yeah, it's the best fucking feeling.
I got to watch Alex Kool-Aid do the same thing to her, man.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, if anything, man, we've kind of talked about this, man. Like, each individual show, what people miss out by just listening to comedy albums instead of going out and watching comedy live is that environment of chaos.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I found it interesting earlier. You used the example of The Walking Dead to as tension. You know what I mean?
Right.
The joke and shit, man. Because I've been bouncing this idea off Freddy about that innate tension that has to be in the environment for comedy to work flawless, man. Not just we're teasing the rubes, but it's like to actually get something out of it. So that there is a catharsis. Because my idea is basically, if they're too comfortable, you walk in, they've been sitting there for a while having some drinks and some nice fluffy chairs and chatting amongst friends, and all of a sudden you come on stage and start throwing shit at them. You're just the asshole that's bringing up why are you talking about this?
Yeah.
Whereas Freddy just wandering off in the middle of a podcast.
I know. Okay. I can
that air conditioner on.
Yeah. Turn the AC on. He's like, "Oh, we got a polar bear in here. Thank you, sir." Awesome. But yeah, man.
If there's a little bit of tension, you know what I mean? The whole going back to the idea of a dark room, small ceilings, and everybody sitting a little too close together, you know what I mean? Small tables where your drinks don't quite fit on there. The tension comes naturally. Like you're the guy, you're the jester coming in, giving them that relief,
Right.
I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. But Freddy, man, dude, if you ever have a heckler where you find out some shit like that, use that as arsenal, bro. Once they fucking yell out at you, it's fucking balls to the wall, dude. You fucking release the fucking cranking on their motherfuckers, dude. When she said that shit, you could have been like, "Hey, weren't you the one that said that you wanted to do comedy, but you're not on stage?" You could have gone on so many fucking angles and destroyed the fuck. Have you ever seen Raymond North fucking handle a heckler?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He fucks them up hard.
Now, every single fucking word you just said is factual.
Yeah.
But we go back to what I said earlier. Bro, I only had a 10-minute fucking set. I was not about to waste 5 minutes of my set from the 4 minutes she had already wasted.
Right.
And I told her, I was like, look, and I got serious for a minute, and I was like, look, and I was actually being nice about it. I was like, look, we're on a time set here. Other people gotta come up. It'd be cool. You're not part of the show. You're here to watch. when Larry went up, he did exactly what you're telling me, but like Larry let her fucking have it.
That's what you gotta do.
And then Larry even said, because he had pretty much a pretty good sized crowd, right? So he was like, you know what, because he got frustrated. He was like, this bitch is so thirsty for attention. What do you say I give her 5 minutes up here? And everybody was like, fuck no, and they were yelling, kick her out.
Shit.
And then she got up and she started walking towards the back, and everybody started clapping and cheering.
Fuck.
And then she turns around and she goes back. She's like, I'm not leaving. I'm going to the restroom. So, yeah, but again.
Get a fucking clue. Leave. Miserable bitch.
To be fair, I would side on the with Polar Bear on this one, man, as far as like, I would consider it free material, man.
Fuck yeah.
I mean,
all day. And I get it because I'm still working on my crowd work.
Yeah.
So it gets a little nerve wracking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to fuck up and fuck up your material by trying to go at somebody and just fuck up everything because you'll lose the crowd. But you also got to think of it as a risk, as a gamble, like you're in fucking Vegas. If you own this motherfucker, the crowd's gonna fucking love you.
Yeah.
Like Corey Mack, when I did the show in Mandeville, there was a dude who was heckling him.
I heard about this.
Yeah,
Israel told me.
Yeah, and before the show, the dude was saying, I think I can do what y'all could do. I would love to fucking be a comedian. My friends think I'm fucking funny. Which, by the way, people, if you say your friends think you're funny, that doesn't mean jack shit.
That means go to an open mic and run a couple minutes.
Exactly. So Corey Mack was like, he was talking shit while he was like hosting, and Corey Mack was like, hey, you know what? Let's just stop, let's just hold off real quick. Why don't you come up here? Do 5 minutes. Do fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the dude was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. He was like, yeah, I bet you're not gonna do it. You're a shit kicking piece of shit or some shit. Like, he was like just roasting him to where he was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. I don't give a shit. I'll do it. And he went up there and he grabbed the mic and he said like the most corniest dad joke. And Corey Mack was like, nah, that's it. Like, he said it and it was like silence. And like everybody was like, boo, like that. And like Corey Mack went and grabbed the mic. He's like, bro, I heard that fucking joke on Jimmy Kimmel the other night. It's like, get the fuck off my stage. Get the fuck off my stage. You can't handle this shit. The dude fucking went back to his seat, finished his drink, and walked out. Left. Owned the fuck out of him. I bet you he'll never, ever talk shit at a comedy club again. Ever. Ever. Don't remember that? Oh, and he had his friends with him, too. That was the fucking most funny thing. He had like 5 people with him. Girls and guys.
Did they stay?
Everybody left.
Oh.
He must have been the ride.
Yeah, he right. yeah. For real. Everybody felt fucking bad for the dudes. Everybody fucking left. But
sometimes
dude,
you gotta admit your friends are assholes.
Yeah. But those are the best kind of assholes. Fuck up those hecklers, dude.
It's always beautiful to watch, man. I mean, that's part of what I was saying. It's the chaos of live performance.
I did have another heckler. I mean, I'm not shitting on Laredo. Shout out to Aaron and everything. That crowd was awesome, and I'm not gonna say she was a full blown heckler, but she did interrupt me. I don't like that because again, I'm on a time limit, so I don't like to be interrupted. And I was doing my retarded joke, right? So she got irked about it, and she made it a point. She was in front, and she made it a point to like say it. And she said something, and she interrupted me. I didn't hear her, and I was like, what was that, ma'am? You interrupted me. What was that? She was like, you shouldn't make fun of handicapped people. I was like, oh, well, why not? Are you handicapped? She's like, no, real firmly. She was like, no, but I'm a special ed teacher. And I was like, oh, that's where I fucking remember you from. No what? So from there, she just kind of like, and she sipped on her drink. And
get that PC bullshit out of here.
Yeah.
Like somebody telling me you really shouldn't make fat jokes. Bitch, I have titties. I can make these jokes. All right? This is all I got. Like, fuck you. You know? I'm calling myself fat.
Yeah.
Fucking miserable bitch.
good point that you brought up, man. I really want to get your honest perspective on it. And I ask a couple of like serious like comics and shit that run through this shit on a weekly basis. We've had this conversation. What do you honestly think of PC and comedy?
I think it is
Destroying the
fuck yeah. It's a virus. I think it's slowly eating away at comedy. I think people are getting sensitive over every fucking thing these days.
Everybody's so fucking brittle, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, here's the thing, man. It's counterproductive as well because there's always that backlash of response from the comics, man. I've told the story several times, but we had a venue down here have an issue with a comic making a not even an offensive trans joke. It just mentioned like that was part of the joke.
Yeah.
And anyway, the response from the local comedians was, "Hey guys, let's write entire set lists of trans jokes and just go and run them on a fucking yeah." And I had the conversation with multiple comics where it's like, "Are you ever going to use these jokes again?" It's like,
right.
No, and it's like, "Why are you writing them then?"
Yeah. It's ma'am.
That wrote itself.
It really did. And the memes are fucking amazing.
Yeah, man.
We live in strange times.
We do, man.
Do you ever think? Because I was looking like I'm still no matter what, I'm still a student of comedy, and I think I will be no matter how big I get in my career. So I was watching a lot of Carlin's older stuff, like when he was really young. And I was watching it, but like listening to him, and I was like, "This shit would have never survived today." You know what I mean? So what I'm getting at is, do you ever think that we're gonna be able to get that back?
I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's a long shot.
You really think it's a long shot?
I think so, and I hope I'm fucking wrong. And I'm not going to say it's impossible, because I think what's going to happen with this PC shit is people are going to keep getting offended, and people are going to get fucking tired of it. Like, everybody gets offended over every fucking little thing. Every small thing that people can get offended by, they get offended by. There was an article I saw the other day that this black girl went into Hobby Lobby and she saw that they were selling cotton, just like sticks of cotton. And she saw it and she was like, "This is offensive." And she made a post about it. They got a whole bunch of fucking shares. And she was like, we're walking backwards. We shouldn't be selling cotton in a Hobby Lobby. And it's like, what the fuck? It's decorative fucking material. It's like a decor.
To just play a maybe optimistic cynic, I think the overreactive individuals have always been around. They just have more of a forum now. Now that may be causing a bit of a, what's the word? Like a feedback loop where like this is getting louder and louder, and maybe that affects the culture. But I can't imagine that it would ever. I mean, all right, you may have the problem of, say, the corporate when it comes to comedy, trying to censor the material has always been there to some degree, man. But like the truly, let's say, walking the line type of stuff, man, it's like out there, good material that, would be considered offensive if somebody uttered it, just, we're in an elevator and somebody just kind of blurted out some of that shit. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Right.
But in the context, it's, it's art, man. And but it persists. I can't imagine any force aside from law, which, if we can say one thing about, the United States, they at least kind of like artists are allowed to push it a little bit, and there have been struggles along the way. You had the, Lenny Bruce, man, went to jail multiple times for talking about all kinds of dirty, filthy nonsense, along with Carlin one time. You can find that picture somewhere where it's him and Carlin and some other dude handcuffed in the back of a police car, I believe.
Ridiculous.
And it's crazy because I was telling Sean a couple of weeks ago, I read an article. It was on Fox News, which we all know it's a bullshit network anyway, but yes, I said it. But they said, and very simple, they went into this long fucking explanation, but the gist of the article was that you, and I even cringe when I think about it, but you can no longer say crazy.
Can't say crazy?
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
You can't.
That's like the number one reply when people aren't listening to you. I say it all the time. Like if I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, man, that's crazy. I don't even know what the fuck they said. I'm just high as fuck, and I'll be like, yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, you.
So like, fuck that.
You can't you can't say crazy, and they even went into the. I don't remember it because again, as soon as I read that line, my attention span just popped.
Went crazy.
Went crazy. But basically they go into a long explanation of like why you can't say crazy, and then they have this correct term that I don't even remember perfect example. I don't remember what the correct term was, but when I looked at it, that's what I told myself. I was like, that's too fucking long to remember. I'm like, I'd rather just say crazy.
Like I have never referred to a mentally ill person as crazy, but I've called a hell of a lot of people crazy.
Yeah.
Including myself. So it's a ridiculous prospect, man. But okay, there has been attempts. I would go far enough to say that there have been attempts to try to edit the language. And if you look at some place like, say, Canada right now has laws against certain language. The Britain's got all kinds of weird hate speech laws.
Yeah.
But we
people going to jail for memes and shit.
That's
6 months in jail for fucking sharing a meme.
Is that real?
Yeah, man.
Where's it?
UK?
I believe the number is 3,000 people a year have run-ins with police officers over speech laws in
the United Kingdom.
Yeah,
yes, dude. Yes.
Yeah, you got to look that shit up.
How
there's
do people do
been
comedy?
multiple people who have gotten 6
very
months.
carefully.
How do you pull off comedy?
Very carefully.
Yeah, I'm saying because Theo Von just had like 10 shows in the UK 2 months ago. And have you seen his special?
You also have to remember they have to, like, somebody has to complain that you offended them for that to work. So
that and the fact that he's not a citizen over there, I think he'd probably have to be like maybe a citizen. I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
As long as you're not a citizen.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just, I guess, simple logic maybe. I don't know. That could be just a stupid motherfucker talking out of my ass.
As Americans, I think the only thing we can do to kind of assist them is to keep living in, beautiful freedom that we have, and just be a shining example for our Anglican brethren.
Absolutely. That's why I don't like all this politically correct bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's giving people a platform. Too many fucking people a platform, like Twitter and all this shit. Facebook, all the social media is giving them a huge fucking platform to where they get sensitive or offended by something and they post about it, and then somebody else feels that and they share it and it goes viral, and now it gives them way too much of a platform. Look at the shit from Kevin Hart, bro. 10 years ago. 10 fucking years and they want to bring this shit up. And fucking hats off to Kevin Hart. Because I know he apologized, and I was hoping he wouldn't, because I already know that he did. But I understand why he did. He has a career to think about. So he apologized 2 or 3 more times. But he said, I'm not going to do the Oscars. I'm not going to do them. Even if they want me to do them, I'm not going to do them. And they wanted him to do it. They said, all right, you apologize. Come and do the Oscars. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Hats off to him, because, motherfucker, I would have been pissed if he still did the Oscars. Because all that would have done is somebody made a fucking bitch fit about it. He apologized, and they still got to see him host the Oscars.
Yeah.
The fact that he pulled out and was like, nah, I'm good. Fuck you. Yeah. And the sad thing is that was his dream. He had that on his vision board for years to host the Oscars. And he was like, nah, I'm all right.
Well, here's the thing, man. It's fucking hypocrisy on the face of it, because Billy Crystal hosted the Oscars for years, and I have seen that Comic Relief back in the day on HBO. Fucking just like, Kevin Hart didn't say shit.
Yeah, no. Dude, there's been...
Imagine if they could pull up just the shit that I've posted back when it was MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude.
And I bet you if and when I ever blow up, somebody's going to bring it. Look, this MySpace shit he did it. It's like I probably don't even remember.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't get it, man. Like, and I will say this, and this is my strongest argument in regards to everything. I don't know why people are so adamant about holding a comic, an entertainer, because that's all you are. You're an entertainer, to the standard that they should hold the president of a nation, and yet the president can say whatever the fuck he wants, and he's still president.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into politics. I don't like getting into politics. Even like comedy, I stay the fuck away from it because I have a view that's like totally different from so many fucking people, and it gets into a debate that's never ending. Yeah. It's a fucking vicious cycle, loop, and hypocrisy. And it's hypocrisy from both sides.
Yeah,
liberals, conservatives, and I would even say that I'm more leaning on the conservative side. But just because of the whole fact that liberals get really PC and all this bullshit, I just don't even want to get into it because it is a never-ending fucking cycle, dude. Yeah. And it's hypocrisy on both sides, dude. But both sides are fucking hypocrites. It's like a bunch of fucking little kids just, oh, well, he did this. Well, he did that. Yeah. Oh, well, she did this. Oh, no, but he did that. It's like, who gives a fuck? And people invest so much of their time and energy into it that I think it fucks up your life. Live your life. It doesn't, who gives a fuck? Yeah, Trump's a fucking idiot. He says some stupid shit. And I wish that he would just stick to fucking doing president shit because he's doing really good with the economy and doing all that. But shut the fuck up, bro. Just do your fucking job. And to me, it's like people put way too much like emotions into it. Don't let it affect your life. Live your fucking life. Whatever the fuck Trump does, it's not gonna fucking affect me. You know? And like I know people are like, he's gonna fucking corrupt the world and do all this shit. You know what? If that happens, I'm a big believer in God. And I think that there's a will for everything that happens. And I'm just gonna sit back, I'm gonna enjoy my life, and I'm going to try and make people around me the happiest that they can be, laughing all the time. And that's my job. That's my duty when I'm here. I want to make sure your life when you're around me is always like uplifting, positive, fun. You're laughing. You're in good spirits. I don't want to talk about bullshit that doesn't fucking matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just people give way too much of their time. And I did it too. You know, I got into politics, and that's when I really fucking had to like channel myself and like zero like in on myself of like, I'm giving way too much fucking energy to this. Like I would get on debates on Facebook about shit. And every time I would see somebody reply, I felt like a rage come over me. Like, oh, what did this stupid motherfucker say? I want to correct him so fucking bad. And it's never ending. It's like, why am I giving my energy to this motherfucker who, no matter what I say, no matter what article I put up, no matter what facts I put behind, they're not going to understand it. It's not going to hit them. Let me live my life. Let me do me. If I see something, I'm going to keep scrolling. That's my whole take on it, dude.
And how did that change you?
Great.
From where you were to where...
Dude, fucking great. It's just so much less stressful.
And you still see the same bullshit.
Oh, yeah. I still see it. And at times, like, a part of me is like, oh, I want... You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, I'm not fucking going to. I'm not going to get into this fucking debate and have, like, a fucking comment that says, view 62 replies, and it's all bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
And we both leave with our same views. Fuck that. I just fucking, I don't do it, man. I don't invest my time or energy into it.
No, I know that you said you didn't want to talk about it. That's cool.
But he's gonna bring it up.
I don't want to.
All of his comedy is about anti-Trump bullshit. I know. Let's get into it.
Hey, it's 4 minutes, motherfucker. No, I was gonna say if no matter what it is, whether it's like the sensitive subjects, politics, race, sex, like gender. What I mean. So, do you feel that no matter what it is in comedy, in regards to those subjects, it can be funny? I'm not saying you, but in general, we could make it funny. It could be jokes, and because it's jokes, we could still be okay. as far as like the audience. I'm saying is, can that conversation be left on stage and be left as a joke, given, as long as you're just not being an asshole and you're actually being funny about it. I'm gonna tell you why I asked this, because I've been told, I was like, you don't feel bad when other people that are not handicapped make handicap jokes? And I tell them, I was like, look, dude, I don't care. I don't care what it is, handicap, race, or whatever, as long as it's funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, do you feel that way, or do you feel that people that make political jokes or whatever, like myself, on those short bits, do you feel that it's just meh?
To me, when it comes to politics, this is just my view. Everybody can do what the fuck they want. I've heard some fucking hilarious Trump jokes and, Hillary jokes. I've heard hilarious jokes, you know what I'm saying? But for me, from my point of view, people get politics everywhere they fucking look. If they turn on the TV, it's Trump. If they go online, it's memes about Trump. If they do it's just politics, to where I feel like if somebody comes to a comedy show, they want to get away from all that shit. They want to fucking laugh. They want to have a good time. And I'm not going to sit there and fucking repeat the same bullshit that they hear or the memes that they see. Like, that's just me. And I know a lot, like, there's so many comics who do politics. That's cool. By all fucking means, do it. But as for me, I stay out of it. I just don't do it, man. Because when I look at the bigger picture of it all, it's like, fuck, man. I just see it so much. And if I'm going to go to a comedy show, I want to laugh. I want to get away from just like everyday reality and everyday world. And everyday reality, unfortunately, is fucking politics. Even SNL. SNL is like 90% politics now. It's like, do some skits that like don't involve politics, dude. Like, and SNL's always done politics, like, and I'm not one of these, and I'm not even a Trump supporter. I whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but it's like, it's these, I don't even think it's like butthurt Trump supporters, because there is a lot of them out there who are fucking hypocrites, and I fucking hate them. But it's the fact of like, SNL's always done politics. They've always done Ross Perot with fucking Dana Carvey. They've done Will Ferrell did a fucking amazing President Bush, but it was never the fucking meat and potatoes of the show. And I feel like now that's what it is. And I don't know, man.
So I'm asking you this because I wanted to hit you with this to kind of bring it back around. So, how do you honestly feel about Carlin and his comedy?
Okay, that's a good question. Carlin, like I said, I'm a very big believer in God and very big believer in faith and all that. Carlin had jokes that bashed the fuck out of God, Jesus, Christians, all this. I didn't laugh at him. I still love the guy. I think he has material that is fucking genius. Me, as a person, you can talk shit about whatever the fuck you want to. I'm not going to get offended to the point to where I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you're not shit. I don't like you. Say what you want, bro. It's America. It's fucking freedom of speech, brother. Say what you want. If you say a joke, there's been plenty of comedians that I love, and they have a joke about like Jesus, and I just don't laugh. Yeah. Because to me, it's being disrespectful towards somebody I hold so high.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to hold everybody to my standards. The thing that I hated the most growing up, I grew up in a very rough Christian house, but had fun. Yeah. And the things that I hated the most about Christian people is that they would shove their shit down your throat. And if you didn't believe it, fuck you. Get away from me. And to me, like, no, man, like that's not what it is. Love everybody. If this person doesn't believe you, okay, cool. Let everybody have their own opinion, their own say, what they want to believe. I'm not going to look at you any differently.
Yeah.
That's just me, And that's the whole problem with the politics thing.
Yeah.
Is like nowadays, I remember back in the day, you could be a Bush supporter. You could be an Obama supporter. It didn't matter. But nowadays, if you're a fucking Trump supporter, you're a racist son of a bitch. You're a bigot. Like, it's crazy. It really is. Like, it's fucking nuts. And it's the same thing of like people who hate Trump supporters, like, oh, fuck you, you don't know shit. So it's like, bro, you need to calm the fuck down. It's not that fucking serious. Just get to know people. That's why I don't like politics, dude, because you can base a whole fucking perspective, relationship, and build up a whole story in your head just by knowing who someone supports.
Yeah.
If you're a Republican, or if you're a Democrat, liberal, conservative, whatever the fuck, you already have a story in your head of like, okay, this motherfucker's, either politically correct, or this motherfucker's racist, or this motherfucker's a bigot. Like, to me, it's like, stop.
Yeah.
Get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? Fucking weed's awesome. We can smoke a joint and sit here and fucking, just vibe and get to know each other. And we don't have to worry about all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Leave it at the doorstep.
And something that I want to go back to, man, that you said that I really, nobody had ever put it like that coming from you. And it's something that I really do respect. What you do. Exactly everything that you said about Carlin. As far as comedy wise, I hold the man in like my top 4 all the time.
Fuck yeah.
He always makes my top 4.
Dig it?
Right? But I'm on the exact same boat, brother, when you say he has genius material, and I laugh at about 80% of it, but the 20% that he has on like God is the only thing that I don't laugh at.
Yeah.
I'll watch it, I'll stare at the screen,
right,
but I don't get a reaction. And I've been next to somebody that...
Let me toss this to you guys, because I'm coming at it from a much different perspective.
I knew this shit was good.
No, but the question is this: Do you hold religious material to the same standard as any other, say, sensitive subject? In like, it's not offensive if the joke touches on subjects. It's offensive if it's not fucking funny. I mean, is that at least a part of the consideration?
I know exactly what you're saying. So I will say, I'm pretty sure he's going to say something different. I'm going to say my part.
It's a genuine question.
No, and I got you. It goes into, if it's funny, cool. But what the part that irks me about it, and I may be wrong, I may be 100% wrong, but the part that irks me is when I feel that is straight blasphemy. Like, directly. That's how I feel. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't remember the comic off the top of my head. But I think I've told you this joke before. But there's a comic that has a joke where... And see, I even feel a certain way talking about it right now, but I'm just giving you the example. There's a comic that has a joke where basically they painted... The premise of the joke was that Jesus was in hell... Jesus was in hell hanging out with Satan. I don't remember the punchline, and the punchline's not really important, but just the premise and that setup alone, it rubs me the wrong way. So that's the type of like direct blasphemy that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I'm not like I don't find it amusing, and I guess you can say it's just I'm not cool with that. But I'm gonna give you the other side, going on what you said. D.L. Hewley has a joke about Jesus, and all he said was, and by me saying this, I'm not saying I fully support the joke, but there's a difference. Is what I'm pointing out. He has a joke about Jesus where he says, I know that Jesus was black. The reason that I know that Jesus was black was because one of Jesus' first miracles was turning water into wine at a wedding. If that's not black, I mean, I don't know what is. And he said, and then he played it out. He was like, Lord, we don't run out of wine. Lord, I normally wouldn't do this, but go ahead and keep the party going. See, that got a smile out of him, because, and again, I may be wrong, and may God forgive me.
Well, you didn't really give context as far as like the other joke you were referencing, I'm assuming just not a good joke.
No, but I also wanted you to get the point of that. I used that example of a joke because that was a joke that I feel that it's like direct blasphemy, and also like it wasn't funny. But I feel that if it was funny, it would still rub me a certain way about it. And as far as, and this is what I'm saying, I may be wrong, and may God forgive me for it, but D.L. Hewley's joke,
Right.
I feel was not that bad, and it was way funny. My point of view.
Right.
I don't know if you have something different.
You know, man, I think when it comes to just jokes about religion or Jesus, I don't know, man. I think it has something to do with my roots. Like, I grew up being taught not to laugh at that stuff. And I see Jesus, God, as my best friend and, in a sense, my father. So it'd be like people cracking jokes about your dad. It's like, and I know that's kind of like a fucking a totally different way of looking at it, but that's how I feel. Is like I can't laugh at it because if I do, I feel like I'm disrespecting him. And it's not even that, because the jokes will hit. They'll fucking hit like a motherfucker. But I just sit there and I just stare blindly.
No, and what I was gonna say with the example you just gave, and again, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but with the exact same example that you just gave, I feel you doing the reference like if somebody was making fun of your dad,
right?
But I gotta be honest with you, I've heard some people say some shit about my dad. And it was kind of funny. You know?
Oh, dude, my new material was all shit about my dad. So it's like, I've got to be a fucking hypocrite. But at the same time, that's just like how I'm like relating it. You know, like how I'm trying to lay it out.
I got you.
You know,
man.
like.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Do you think like because I know it's you're talking about like different when people have that spirituality is like a different thing from like this whole like identitarian stuff. I mean, it's a different conversation in that like the mechanism for that like is literally you got your tribal and then there's that inner thing,
right?
But like I do give consideration to that when it comes to that's why I was asking about holding it up to the same standard, because like I've heard people make, I mean, just on the face of it, we were talking about this with Bobby about like running up to the line and like to where people think they know where you're going to go, and like the shit that's in their head is just like way worse than you get that, and it's like, I didn't even say anything. That was all y'all, you know, type of thing. But like, and then the ability to, tasteful, I mean, it's a good word for it, where like, it's placed in a context where there is a catharsis without there being like the one person in the corner going like, oh, fucking, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, that's one of the reasons I bring up the question, man.
I mean, and it's,
I mean, I not necessarily to justify, say, some sort of self-censorship, because it's like, oh, you got to watch what you say for the trigger warnings. No. I mean, in more of a sense of, you're familiar with like the idea of exposure therapy, where it's like, you know, sometimes you got to face the, like, why does this thing make you twitch? You know,
right.
Walk up to it. And again, I know the spirituality thing is, that's, like I said, that's a whole different mechanism, man.
It is. It really is.
So kind of go 180 with it. Do you have a clean set?
No. I really
thought
don't.
about working?
I need to.
What the fuck are you going to do with corporate gigs, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say fuck on these shits.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Stringer got thrown into the fucking wolves.
Oh, for real?
When he started doing his cruise ships, he had to fucking do clean sets every beginning, like first show. Like the early show, he had to do clean sets.
Forget to read the fine print on the contract?
I don't know, dude. But they told him, and he was like, shit. And now he does it like without a, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so
without struggling.
He's got a clean set?
Yeah. He has a clean set that he does on cruise ships, man. And I don't even know what the fuck I do. Like, I can't do cruise ships right now. I have stories about fucking fingering a girl with carpal tunnel and jacking off wrong and coming on tits and getting a girl pregnant. Like, I'm fucked. I can't even. I put my sperm on her boobs. Like it doesn't work.
Get to the end of the set. Good night, grand folks.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it? Thought about it is not the correct way to put it. Have you attempted it?
No.
No.
I've thought about it, but I haven't acted.
Okay. This is why I asked. I can't say who because there's two people that watch this that I know of. So I was approached by a certain company. This company is not a mom and pop store or whatever. They're actually a corporation. That's why I can't mention it. But they approached me to do their Christmas party. And they just wanted 30 minutes. They were like, we just want to hire you 30 minutes. And then that's my first question all the time because I've had shows that I've had to drop because I wasn't told. So now my first question is, I got you, but does it have to be clean? No, that's what I asked.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So now they hit me with like it's got to be clean. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, and I was like, well, shit. And I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to do it. But I feel like I've been asked about it 3 times by 3 different people.
Right.
And I feel that I would get a lot more work if I was able to develop.
Oh yeah.
A clean set, right? But fucking people don't know, man. If you don't understand how hard it is to come up with 15 minutes of dirty shit, just 15 minutes, 5 minutes of clean shit, it's like, so, but this is where I'm going with it. So what I started to do, maybe I want to give you that idea. I've watched Jerry's 2 specials like 5 times over, just to see if I can pull anything. And I'm not saying I'm copying his material, but just the way he's like delivering so clean and shit. And I mean, I don't know your thoughts on Jerry, but I think Jerry's hilarious. Like when you really sit down and watch his like stand up. Yeah. Like he's hilarious, he's relatable, and everybody can relate to his comedy, and I think that's why he's so funny.
And he's very clever how he delivers it.
Exactly.
Well, I don't just throw this out there. I don't know if you guys spend much time on Facebook. I'm not Facebook, jeez, YouTube. Facebook give you a completely different impression, but I've been noticing more and more on YouTube. A couple channels have popped up. It's kind of weird. You have an uncensored format, and people are putting up clean comedy. Like there's this one channel called like Dry Bar Comedy. And it's all clean sets.
Yep.
And it's some good fucking guys, man. I mean, just like it's solid material. And some of it's, it's walking up to that edge, you know what I mean? But it's, again, if you're looking for some little, inspiration on that, man, like.
I saw a video of that on Facebook, actually, Dry Bar Comedy.
I've actually looked at some of the comics like offsite, and like you can see where they're taking the material that's not necessarily clean and like working with it and crafting it into something that is. It's not family friendly by any means, but it would definitely fly at a corporate type of gig.
Yeah.
Which is again essentially the corporatization of comedy. That's essentially what that is.
And you haven't been approached by a corporate yet?
I've had somebody who said they wanted me to do 30 minutes cleaning, and I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what I was gonna say with mine. They approached me and they were like, hey man, just 30 minutes. And I was like, I can't, because it's got to be, it's $350. And I was like, and I was so tempted. I was like, what if I go and I just write some shit, recite it? And I was like, but I don't want to give them a shit show either,
Right.
Because I don't want to feel like I'm stealing these people's monies either, And I had to turn it down because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to pull.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I can't.
I think having a clean set is like being bilingual on the customer service land and get you more jobs, more gigs, but it's still fucked. Mario Salazar said you were a dick.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Mario. Thank you. Why? What happened?
I was supposed to take him to fucking go get those roses and shit.
Oh, we can. We can wrap this up.
You need to get out of here. We'll let you go. We didn't even lock the door.
I know. I was supposed to be done at 8. It's all 8:51.
I saw you glance at the phone once.
Yeah.
Only once.
Yeah, we can definitely go ahead and wrap this up if you can still make it.
Let me see if I know. Yeah, sorry to do this. It's what happens when stoners try and get their girlfriend something on Valentine's Day. They wait till fucking 8 p.m. on Valentine's Day to get you something.
Can't wait on love.
Telling you. Let's see. I said, what time will your girl be there? He said, never mind, man. I read that like the most, like, the saddest voice file. Just forget it, bro. I got next year. Valentine's 2020, that's my year.
Optimist playing the long game.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see what he says. But, yeah, see, now I forgot what we're talking about. Fucking Mario. Stoners on Valentine's, dude, does not mix.
So, on a more positive note, when's the next headlining gig?
Shit. I don't know, man. I have no idea.
But you're trying to book it, right?
Yeah, and I'm happy that I did that last night because now I have one under my belt and I can be like, okay, well, that's not so bad. Right. It's like going on a fucking roller coaster, you know, like you're scared to shit before you get on there. Then when you get on, you're like, oh, all right, that was actually kind of fucking fun. Let's do this shit again. So I don't know, man. I'll be looking for one for sure. The positive thing about everything is I'm starting to become a really strong feature. So, that's the positive thing. And it honestly came out of fucking left field, out of nowhere. Because I was hosting a lot of gigs, and I hosted so many shows for John Stringer. And
you hosted for John Stringer?
Oh man, many times, many fucking times.
He's funny motherfucker.
I mean, he's the reason why I am who I am on stage, and he hates when I say that. But
what does that mean?
He taught me so fucking much, dude. Because you know how comics are, and this is like, I think so many comics are like this, and I think I've even done it a time or two. But when you're on stage, be like, hey man, you fucking killed it. You did good, man. You did a good job. And even if they didn't do a really good job and they saw something, they don't want to bring it up, you know? And I always try and critique everybody that I know that won't get butthurt, you know?
Well, you didn't tell me shit, so.
Because that's you're good. The only thing I didn't like was the anti-Trump shit. I think that it takes it away from, you know, the audience because you just like go to a whole different route. But that's just me in politics. We already went down that road.
Matter of taste.
Yeah, yeah. But with Stringer, he always told me what was up all the time. And my problem when I was doing comedy is I used to do hip hop. So my whole stage presence was based off of hip hop. Yeah. So when I would tell jokes, I would tell them and I'd like look on the ground and like kind of like walk around and I wouldn't make eye contact and keep the audience engaged. And so Stringer saw that. He was like, look how you're doing that. He showed me a video. Like, look how you're doing that. He said, you're looking on the ground. Stop doing that shit. Stand there in the middle.
This is not a rap concert.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I look like. If you look at an old fucking video of me doing comedy, I was doing all this shit and walking around and looking down because that was what I was like instilled in my mind of what I did when I was on stage.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And Stringer was like, fucking ground yourself, make eye contact, do everything, and deliver it. And there's been so many other things that he's helped me out on, rushing through shit. I never knew I was rushing through jokes to get to the next ones just to make sure it was funnier until he told me. And when he told me, I looked at it. Another person who critiqued me was Bruce Jingles. He told me that I cussed too much. And when I first started, I cussed a lot. It was a filler.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was a filler. Like when I was thinking of the next joke, I'd be like, you have motherfuckers who are doing shit like, man, this motherfucker over, like, and he was like, look, I know Richard Pryor cussed. I know Eddie Murphy cussed a lot, but that's Richard Pryor. That's Eddie Murphy. Do you, but don't cuss so much. And like, that's what I think comedy is or needs to be, is people critiquing people and not getting butthurt. Because if somebody sees something that you don't, you can adjust that. You can fix that, and you can become that much more of a stronger comic. Yeah. The thing I think is wrong with a lot of comics is they hear that And they automatically come from a fucking place of insecurity of like, oh, you think you're better than me, motherfucker? Oh, you think you're fucking
you get
better?
that a lot.
You know? And it's like, no, dude,
lot.
I'm trying to fucking help you.
Yeah.
This is what I saw. If you want to work on it, cool. Record it. Look at it. If you don't see it, keep doing you.
Yeah.
But don't get butthurt. Use that fucking advice that you got and implement the shit.
I get it, John. I get it. I'm not dropping my Trump jokes.
No, I know you won't. I know you won't. We already talked about this politics bullshit. It's a never-ending cycle. Nobody changes. Just keep being a dick.
Oh, it's a sadomasochist wet dream.
Yeah.
It works for the most part.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I've both given advice and have it received well, and I've also been the motherfucker who somebody said something in the wrong tone, when, after a bad set, and it was like, "Nah, motherfucker, I know, I was there, I experienced it."
Yeah. Yeah. If it's something obvious, then maybe you don't need to bring it up. Like you don't need to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
Like if it's something like super obvious, like they fucked up a joke and like dropped and then try to get back on and stumbled. You don't have to be like, hey man, I noticed like when you dropped that joke, you stumbled to get back on and like kind of keep track. Maybe you should try and focus more. Like they know that they fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know exactly what the fuck I did, motherfucker. But
yeah, man, and there's somebody here locally that I thought, because they were so open about it, I thought that I could approach them, and I told them, and I wasn't a dick about it either. I was like, hey, dude, I think this joke is really funny, and I think it's really funny because it was, and it really was. It was funny because it was funny since the premise. It just, I felt that he added too much to the punchline.
Yeah.
I was like, if you would have ended your punchline here, like it would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
And the reply that I got was like, I know this. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Mm.
And I did want to tell him, I was like, well, it doesn't fucking look like it, but
right.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say who it is, but yeah.
Right. Well, and this, I don't know, maybe this is just me being an asshole, but to me, if he's been doing it for 10 fucking years and he's still where he's at, it's because of that reason. He didn't take advice. I've been doing it for 10 years. Maybe he's been saying that for fucking the past 5 years. I know, dude. I've been doing it for 5 years. And he doesn't take advice. He doesn't fucking grow.
Yeah.
You can't fucking grow. You can't become a stronger comic if you're not willing to take constructive criticism. Yeah. Leave the feelings and the bullshit at the doorstep, dude. And take it. Fuck, I love constructive criticism. That means I'm going to fucking become that much more of a fucking beast.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grow on stage. That means I have room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, I don't know, man. Like, to me, it's like Kobe Bryant, all right? Kobe Bryant's the shit. And I'm a Spurs fan, and I hated the motherfucker.
Not really.
I
don't think.
Kobe Bryant's a fucking
Fuck Kobe
beast.
Bryant and his 81 points.
See? You sound like I've been doing it for 10 years. You sound like that douchebag right now. like you
want to get me started
give it respect. I hated the fucking guy. You know how many times he fucking stuck a knife through my fucking heart because he hit a 3-pointer at the final seconds and beat San Antonio? Too many fucking times. Fuck him. But he's a beast. You can't take that from him. And he was constantly growing. He was constantly getting better. Why? Because he would take people's advice, whatever the fuck they said, and whether he took it with a grain of salt or whether he fucking brushed it off, he still fucking practiced. He still grew. Every day he fucking practiced. First one there, last one to leave.
John, all right, look, I'm going to ask you a question, and this is where it can turn into bloody murder, but I want an honest answer. Was he better than Jordan?
No.
Okay.
No.
We good.
No.
That I can respect.
Yeah.
The ones that I can't stand are the ones that put him... Because, okay, let me back up a little bit. He was good.
There it is.
He was...
Feel better? Get it off your chest? Good job. Good job, man. I'm proud of you. Look at this. Growth. This is exactly what I was talking about. This could be you. Fuck.
John, he was high.
Okay, see? Now you're being a fucking dick. All right.
No.
So when they grow, don't bring it up because you're going to fuck them up. Just fucking take it in silence and just know you got a victory in yourself.
I love this shit. No, he was, what I was trying to say was that he was great. And he was an awesome player.
Right.
The only thing that I've always had an irk with was when they want to put him above Jordan, because I feel that they're undermining every fucking thing that Jordan did. It's like, move aside, I'm better.
Yeah.
And don't even get me on the fucking argument with LeBron.
Fuck that.
Because I'll give you a perfect example. Something that I respect about Kobe. Kobe tore his Achilles heel. His coach said, come here, you gotta go. He said, hold on, I gotta make this free throw, and then I'll get off.
Yep.
Right?
Beast.
This other bitch got a cramp and asked to be carried.
Yeah.
So that's
Crying
what
like a bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I got a problem with.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll even take it as far as me saying no so quickly to the Jordan Kobe thing could be something that I'm set in my ways. And I'm like,
me too.
We're getting old. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we told...
Well, you're getting old. I'm just... I don't take it like that. You know?
No, I mean, that's what it is. Like, we're holding on to what we fucking know. Like, I don't know if you remember if this even happened to you, but when you would tell, our dads or our tios or uncles or whatever that Jordan was better than Magic Johnson or Wilt Chamberlain, they're like, no. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You don't know what you're fucking talking. He's not better. What the fuck? No way. You don't disrespect a legend like that. And it could be the same fucking thing. It could be. But to me, I'm always going to say Jordan's going to be better.
Hold on.
Because he's a beast. And Kobe studied Jordan.
Exactly.
Same moves.
Now, the thing is that, come on, dude. Look at Jordan and look at Magic Johnson. They're both
totally different.
Exactly.
Totally different. I'm just it's an example.
Oh, no, but that's, no.
Don't be a dick.
No, I'm saying because there is people that say that. There is people that say that Magic Johnson was better than Jordan or whatever. First of all, they were two different players.
Yeah.
And second of all, I don't see it.
No.
It's like me and Sean hold this argument all the time in comedy. To me, Richard Pryor was Michael Jordan of comedy.
Fuck yeah.
To me.
Fuck yeah.
And see, this is what I struggle with, and this is where you might argue with me about. I see him as a Michael Jordan of comedy, but on my list, I always struggle to. I always kind of, depending on how I'm feeling that day, I flip Richard Pryor with Red Fox. And they're like right there, bro. And I was like, no, Red Fox was, but then I'm like, and same thing. Richard Pryor studied Red Fox.
Richard Pryor wrote jokes for Red Fox. Did you know that?
No, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say something.
He when he was first starting out, he wrote a few sets for Red Fox. It's fucking crazy because I like both of them. I mean, that's my shit. It's fucking Richard Pryor. I love the dude. I think he's fucking amazing. Yeah. But I also hold, Red Fox up there. I hold fucking Eddie Murphy up there.
Hell yeah.
I even hold, and a lot of people don't even know who this comic is, but Robert Schimmel. He's a fucking hilarious comedian. Have you heard of him? Robert Schimmel?
Yeah. His writing is fucking fantastic as well.
Amazing. And I think that's why some of my shit is so raunchy, because I grew up on him. And he's super fucking raunchy. And I loved it. And me and my dad would sit there and laugh for hours about it.
Yeah.
But I put him up there because to me, and that's just me growing up with it. This is all kind of trickling back to like me growing up in a house that's like super Christian and God, It's just that's something that's instilled in me.
Yeah.
It's my opinion, But to me, the GOAT will always be Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy studied Richard Pryor, and Eddie Murphy was a fucking beast.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And people, that's what I always tell people, and they disagree with me. My top three, that the only two that change is 1 and 2, is Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Then anybody else that you want to add to the list, I don't give a fuck. Well, I mean, you gotta have Carlin there,
Right.
but I don't give a fuck who else you have. But those three, you can't fuck with. You can't move them. You can't. So, but he disagrees with me, because I remember the first time I asked him,
and that's okay.
You can, dude. I challenge you to go back and listen to every single conversation on this. I have never disagreed with you. I am open to the subjective nature of fucking humor, man.
Look at that. He just called your ass out. You try to CNN,
dude. All of this. Not once has Dom Rickles been named.
Yeah, damn. See, it's true.
True. Something that I love about Dom Rickles was he was white. I point that out for a reason. And he was the only white old dude that could make fun of every fucking race.
Yep.
And everybody fucking laughed. That's just, and I never seen Richard Pryor couldn't do that. He like you said, he went to the edge and then kind of
Richard Pryor made fun of every fucking race. White guy, Chinese guy. That dude did so many different voices, and he didn't give a shit. Back then, it was so easy.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, all right. I would throw this out there, man. A lot of the great comics, like Pryor, like fucking, not really Eddie Murphy, man. He was just kind of exuberant and fucking young, man. Had that vitality to it. But like Red Fox, motherfucking Carlin, most definitely. There was a little bit of hate in there. Like, that's part of the whole idea of going up to the line. Because it's like, I know where I can take this.
Right.
So, like, whereas you look at someone like Dom Rickles, I think part of the reason he could pull it off is you see that motherfucker, like, in a genuine moment. Like, there's a clip with him and Johnny Carson, when Carson was going off the air, man, where Rickles just comes on. It's being sincere as fuck. And you see Carson kind of getting a little uncomfortable, man, because Rickles just like, I love you, man. You're fucking great and all this shit. Like, I think the motherfucker probably had like genuine love behind the craft that he was doing, man, which is why he could pull off that.
Right.
That's where the roast kind of comes in. You're talking about the idea of like, you know, laughing at jokes about your dad. It's like part of that is like it's like, yes, part of the love is like I recognize the flaws.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I've said this before, but I'm also going to tell you, because I've never told you this before, and I would love to work with you again. But that's why I tell everybody, every single fucking thing that I say on stage, I do it to make you laugh.
Yeah.
There's no ill feel. I don't hate black people. I don't hate white people. I see everybody the same. There's no hate, you know, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. It's like
just Trump.
At the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And we all have the same emotions. I see everybody the same fucking way. So I tell everybody, if you honestly hear me on stage and you feel that what I'm saying is coming from another place other than comedy and trying to make you laugh, then I'm not gonna necessarily apologize, because I know that's not where it's coming from. But then, like, okay, I get you. Like, don't support. Like, if you ever do feel that I actually do hate a gay person or do hate a transgender because of who they are, then, you know, you maybe should, like Chappelle couldn't have said it best. He said, if you honestly feel that way, then don't come watch me anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's really not where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Just, I like for people to understand that gay, straight, lesbian, whatever you are, I do this for the jokes and for you to laugh.
Yeah.
And I've seen a gay person at one of my shows that I perform laugh. And I've seen a lesbian person laugh as well. And that's how I know that hey, it's okay. It's laughing. Like, I'm not being, it's not coming from an ugly place, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I want everybody to understand, even though it's so difficult.
Yeah.
And I get it so much from, like, the handicapped motherfuckers that is, bro, I'm just, like you. I just have thicker skin, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just nothing hateful.
So now that we made it all touchy-feely and depressing,
Not really.
you guys want to wrap this up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up. I'm good with that. That's a shit. Good
Did
hour
you
and
ever
a half.
reply?
Mario's probably gonna break up with his girlfriend now because of Freddy. Way to go, fucking Freddy.
Go with that story.
Yeah, to blame it on the cripple.
Pobrecito, man. I feel bad. Wanted to take him.
Did he reply?
So we can still go, bro. They said we can wrap it up now, and he just replied, "No." I see him doing it like this. No.
Some people can express emotion in a text message.
Hey, fuck you. You're on a shit list now.
Fuck.
You're the reason his girlfriend didn't get roses and pizza.
Ain't that
And he was supposed to get a probably good BJ. We don't have to put this in there.
This isn't the first time Freddy's disappointed a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
Fucking asshole.
And it won't be the last.
It's not my first or my last.
John, it was fucking. It was great having you in here, man. It was a good conversation, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Fuck yeah, dude. Covered some good ground, and it was fucking really good. Good questions, everything.
I'm glad that I was able to piss you off a little bit. That's my intention with everybody that comes.
I'm glad I brought you to peace, admitting Kobe was good, and I know you're gonna have nightmares about that. Kobe's gonna be fucking crossing you, which isn't probably hard to do, but. All right. There it is. PC shit. Get him off the fucking mic. He's a dick.
If you don't experience some rainstorms, how can you appreciate the sunshine?
Yeah.
John, if you would let the audience know where they can find you, man.
Polar Bear Comedy on Facebook and Instagram, and actually YouTube also. So if you just search Polar Bear Comedy, or even my personal Facebook is Jon Gonzalez, JonGonzalez. Look for me on there. And if you're on Instagram, it has to be like polar_bear_comedy, because some douchebag has Polar Bear Comedy and he hasn't posted in 3 fucking years. And I told the dude I give him $200 in his inbox just to fucking give me the name. And he never replied, probably because it's a dead fucking account and he's being a dick. And his profile picture is a polar bear with a bucket on its head, which is bullshit. And I'm giving that negative energy like into politics. So we gotta leave that shit alone. But you can follow me there.
I was about to say, and I'm the one that has issues.
Yeah, see. What you see how I recognize that, and I was like, okay, let me get away from this. I'm giving it too much of my time and energy. That's where you're gonna be. Give me 2 years.
And a little bit of money.
Put me on another one of your shows. And
where can he sign up for your pamphlet?
Leave the anti-Trump shit out the door.
Never mind. Don't get me on your show.
Nah, man. But yeah, Polar Bear ATX on Snapchat. That's it, man. It's fucking where you can find me.
Right on, man.
Cool.
You can find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com. Feel free to send your complaints. You can find me as well as on Facebook and Twitter at /Hatfield Standup, and on YouTube under Hatfield Standup. I got a solo podcast I do with some comics called Mad Laughter. Feel free to check it out.
And you can find me across the board on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Freddy G.
If you'd like to find past and future episodes of this in audio format, you can go to shoutengine.com /Bouncing Brains. And we are on YouTube under Bouncing Brains. You can find us on Facebook under Bouncing Brains Podcast. We got a group on there. You can forward your complaints there as well if you'd like everybody to hear them. On YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you back. Have a good night, folks. That's all, folks.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah.